For positive economics, it's an objective study of economics itself. That is positive economics. And what does this concern? It concerns how to find out the nature, the behavior of the market, how the market actually works. That is what positive economics is. Do you get what positive economics is? Positive economics studies economics itself. And economics is a social science which studies human behavior in relationship between earnings and scarce means that have alternative uses. So if there's positive economics, it's simply talking about how to understand the market situation, the marketplace. What happens with consumers? What happens with producers? That is how the market works. That is positive economics. So for positive economics, we have what we call the positive statement. And what's a positive statement? A positive statement is a statement that has to be proven to be true or false. So it's a positive statement because it can be accepted to be true and at the same time become false. It can be accepted or refuted. That's why we call it positive statements. They made the example, they said the Japanese economy is currently operating on its production possibility frontier. It's a positive statement. Economists can search for evidence to whether there is an unemployed resources or not. They made the example of a positive statement here, using Japan as an example. They said, oh, the Japan economy is operating on its production possibility frontier, on its boundary. So this is a statement by economists. But this statement we can confirm if it is true or not. That's why we call it a positive statement. A positive statement is a statement that can be confirmed to be true or confirmed to be false. Because there's going to be evidence for it. Do you understand what positive statement is? There's positive economics, which talks about finding out how the market works. From there, we have the positive statement. And for positive statement, we're talking about statements that can be, with evidence, can become true or false. Clear?
Yes.
Then we have normative economics. For normative economics, it is concerned with value judgments. This is about opinion. That's normative economics. It's about opinion. So I read. Normative economics is concerned with value judgment. It deals with the study of and the presentation of policy prescriptions about economics. Positive economics is talking about how the market works. But normative economics talks about how to prescribe information, to suggest based on views on how the market should work. Positive economics is talking about finding out how the market works. That is positive economics. Then there's a positive statement, which are statements that can be proven to be true or false. But for normative economics is talking about how we come up with policies, how we come up with rules, how we prescribe things to be able to have the market work. That is normative economics. So it deals with the study of and the presentation of policy. So they use policy to understudy the market. That is normative economics. So we have the normative statement. And what is normative statements? These are statements that cannot be supported or refuted. Ultimately, they are viewpoints of how economies and markets should work. So for normative statement, these are statements that cannot be supported or refuted because it's about how things should happen. Okay. Do you understand? It's not the same as you finding evidence. With evidence, you can say yes or no. That is positive economics and positive statements. But for normative statements, you cannot say yes, you cannot say no, because they are backed with policy. They are backed with what? Policy. They made the example, they said, for example, the government should increase the state pension or manufacturing companies should invest more. These are normative statements because it involves should. The government should. There's no evidence for that. Do you understand? So they are backed with policy. These are normative statements. They cannot be supported or opposed because there's no evidence for that. They are based on policy that wants policy to control the economy. These are normative statements. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. So they said economists tend to be interested in both positive and normative economics. They want to find out how economies work, but they also want to influence policy debates. Normative economics are also typically contain positive economics within it. Take the normative statement. The government should increase the state pension. Economists putting forward these value judgments are likely to back up their opinion with positive evidence. They might state that the average pensioner has a disposable income of 40%. So most of the time, for economists, they need both positive and normative economics. They need both. They need both positive and normative statements. Because if positive statement is about finding out how the market works, now that you know how the market wants to work, you need policy to back it up to make sure that it can become consistent. Oh, this is how Mohammed should do. This is how you should do. But what will make you continue to do this way? You need a policy, you need a guideline. So that is why economics will not be complete without both positive and normative. Do you get it? So we need both positive and normative statements. We need both positive economic and negative or normative economic to make the economy work. Any question about it?
No.
So that ends economics as a social science.